Did you know that the quietest economic crisis of our generation is unfolding in Europe right now, and it's called the loneliness tax? If you live alone in a major European city, you pay about 40% more for basic living expenses than those who share a home with a partner or friends. We've grown accustomed to thinking that independence and owning your own home are the main markers of an adult's success. For years, we've been fed this image. There you are, sipping your morning coffee on the balcony of your cozy studio in Berlin, Warsaw, or Barcelona, and everything is under control. But when the end of the month rolls around and you open your banking app, the picture falls apart. Where did all the money go? After all, you didn't buy designer clothes or dine at expensive restaurants. You simply lived. You work 40 hours a week and maybe even take on a side job. Your income seems quite adequate for an average European country.
But why then does that dull, nagging anxiety start to build up by the third week of the month? Why are you forced to choose between buying quality groceries and going to the dentist? Does this feeling sound familiar? Today, we're taking off the rose-colored glasses and conducting an honest, ruthless reality check. Today, we're going to tell you all about it. Don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next videos. We'll look at the real budgets of two polar opposites, but equally real, people in the EU, a delivery courier and an entry-level office worker. We'll tally every cup of coffee, every utility bill, and every hidden subscription in euros. Watch this video all the way through. You won't find any magic tips here on how to make $1 million in 3 days. But you'll finally see the hidden financial holes your money is leaking into, and you'll get a clear, effective system for regaining control of your life in 2026. Let's debunk a popular myth that every other financial blogger promotes.
You're told, just save money. Stop buying lattes at coffee shops. Download yet another expense tracking app. And in a year, you'll have saved up for a down payment on a mortgage. This is an outright lie and a cognitive distortion. In the current reality of the Eurozone, with its skyrocketing rent and food prices, penny pinching on small pleasures doesn't work. You can completely give up coffee outside the home, but if your rent has gone up by 150 euros a year, your savings on matches become a farce. You simply become an unhappy person without coffee, but still without money. Let's pull the reality check trigger and take a look at how the economics of living alone work. When you live with a partner, you split the rent for a 2-bedroom apartment 50-50. But if you're living alone, you still need at least a studio apartment. And the price of that studio in, say, Germany or Poland will be only 20% less than that of a full 2-bedroom apartment.
But you pay the full 100% for it all by yourself. The same thing happens with utilities, basic internet, and even grocery shopping. Have you noticed that a large family-size package at the supermarket always costs less per kilogram? A single person is forced to buy small portions that cost more, or throw away spoiled food because they didn't have time to eat it. This is called the packaging size penalty. Modern corporations and marketplaces have mastered the art of profiting from single people. Food delivery platforms offer free delivery only for orders above a certain amount, which clearly exceeds what one person can eat. So you either overpay for delivery or order extra food you won't eat. Small, subtle mechanisms siphon 2, 3, or 5 euros out of your pocket every day. It's like microscopic cracks in a huge water tank.
The water leaks out unnoticed, but by the end of the month, the tank is empty. Let's look at the numbers and examine our first real-life case. Our first protagonist is Alexei. He's 25 years old and works as a courier in a major European city. His average monthly take-home pay, after basic taxes, is around 2,000 euros. At first glance, that seems like a decent income. But let's break down his actual situation. He pays 850 euros for a modest studio on the outskirts of the city, including all utility bills. That's almost 43% of his income. Remember that number. Next come insurance and a transit pass. That's another 150 euros. Food, if he cooks at home and occasionally grabs inexpensive fast food between shifts, costs 400 euros a month. Mobile service, streaming subscriptions, basic household cleaning supplies, and minor miscellaneous expenses add up to another 150 euros. In the end, Alexei is left with 400 euros. but he has a work tool, an electric bike, or a used car that requires regular repairs. A single visit to the repair shop or the purchase of new tires eats up €300 at a time. As a result, Alexei's actual disposable income at the end of the month hovers around €100. Any unforeseen situation, illness, a fine, or a broken phone instantly plunges him into debt. Now let's look at the other side, our second protagonist, Maria. She works as a junior marketer at an international company. Her take-home pay is €2,600. It would seem that her standard of living should be fundamentally different. But let's be honest, her professional status demands a certain lifestyle. Maria rents an apartment closer to the city center, so she doesn't have to spend 2 hours commuting. That's €1,200, including utilities. She needs to buy high-quality business attire and go out for business lunches with colleagues, because declining and sitting in a corner with her lunchbox often means falling out of step with corporate culture. Her expenses for food and socializing amount to €600. Add to that transportation, mandatory premium health insurance, a gym membership to relieve stress, and basic personal care. That's another €330.
Hidden expenses in the form of professional literature, continuing education courses, and short weekend trips just to clear her head take up another €300. What's left at the end of the day? The same €150 or €200 of disposable income. Both the courier and the office worker with a higher salary end up in the same place at the end of the month, at the bottom of the barrel of financial uncertainty. How can we break this vicious cycle? How can we regain a sense of control over our own lives when external circumstances and inflation are bearing down on us from all sides? We need a clear, strict system consisting of 3 specific steps. Step 1. Implement the financial quarantine rule. Stop tracking your spending just for the sake of it. Writing down your expenses won't stop you from spending. Instead, establish a strict rule. Any purchase over €50 that isn't absolutely essential for your survival right now must be put on hold for 72 hours. Your brain needs this time for the dopamine rush triggered by marketing to subside. You'll be surprised, but in 70% of cases, after 3 days, you'll simply forget the item even exists. Step 2. Convert subscriptions and hidden fees to an annual cost. We easily agree to a subscription for €9 a month. It seems like pocket change, but €9 a month adds up to over €100 a year. And what if you have 5 such subscriptions? You're spending €500 a year on services you use at most a couple of times a month. Audit your bank account today. Cut out everything you can live without for a week. If you really need a service, you can turn it back on, but experience shows that most of them are never activated again. Step 3. Create an anti-panic fund.
Stop saving vaguely for the future. Our brains don't understand abstract goals and sabotage them. Open a separate sub-account at your bank, name it Anti-Panic, and set up an automatic transfer of €50 on payday. Make sure this money is debited before you have a chance to see it and mentally spend it. Your first goal is to save exactly €1,000.
This is the amount that will cover any sudden repairs, a doctor's visit, or the purchase of a new device to replace a broken one. Just having this €1,000 in a separate account reduces your daily cortisol-related anxiety by a third. You'll start sleeping more peacefully. Let's look beyond the dry statistics and examine the issue more deeply. Why have we ended up in this situation in the first place? Why has solitude become such an expensive luxury? The answer lies not only in economics, but also in social psychology. Modern capitalism has a deep interest in the atomization of society. It benefits from us living alone. One person means one refrigerator, one washing machine, one vacuum cleaner, one TV, and one lease. If people were to come together, consumption of goods and services would drop by half. We are sold the idea of absolute independence as the highest good, but the price of this independence is kept quiet. We pay for our loneliness with heightened stress, a sense of isolation, and the constant need to be strong 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Spending under stress is an attempt to buy back a lost sense of security. We buy yet another item or order an expensive meal, not because we're hungry or have nothing to wear. We're buying a substitute for care. We're trying to compensate for an emotional deficit with material objects. And until we realize this connection, we're doomed to remain cogs in the wheel of consumption. Living alone in Europe today is a conscious and costly choice that requires a high level of financial discipline and emotional maturity. It's neither good nor bad. It's a reality you need to learn to navigate. Stop blaming yourself for earning not enough or spending too much. Understand that the system is designed from the start to take as much from you as possible. But as soon as you start to see these hidden rules of the game, you gain the opportunity to play by your own rules. You can regain control over your money and your financial situation. Write in the comments, what are the most absurd hidden expenses or signs of inflation you've encountered in your country over the past year? Which expense category eats up the biggest chunk of your budget? Let's discuss this, because sharing real-life experiences is more valuable today than any theoretical economics textbook. Take care of yourselves.
Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.